Okay, so hi everyone, welcome to Study and Work Buddy. We are committed to our goal to share information about study and work abroad. So today we are heading towards Finland. We are starting a new series now on how to study in Finland, work in Finland, and all the opportunities available for developing countries and everyone like who is interested. So we are here with Imo. Imo Edit. Did I mention it correctly?
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
So he is killing it in Finland, and he's going to give us a lot of information. So over to you,
Okay,
production.
so good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Finland, information about Finland.
Mhm.
So for me, it's an exciting thing for me because when Ida told me about it, I really was really excited to share also from experiences and knowledge of being here in Finland as well. So, like she said, my name is Imo Edit.
Hey,
And
I got it correct.
yeah, you did. That I said I gave you that one there. So I've been here in Finland for 8 years now. So originally
Yes.
I moved, yeah, I moved here for studies, and
Mm.
then studies, and then now living. And it's been a long, long way, down here, but everything, is working, smoothly now. So, so
Mm.
yeah, now I'm
You come directly from Finland? Did you come directly from Nigeria?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the thing. I actually moved from another country, Ukraine.
Okay.
So I lived there also in Ukraine probably 80 years as well before I moved here to
Wow.
Finland. Yeah.
Mm.
And I moved to Finland 2015. I moved from Nigeria. I moved from Nigeria to Ukraine, I think 2009.
Mm-hmm.
About, yeah. And then so it's been a very long, 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 long way. And
Mm.
yeah, I think one of the things that inspires me most about this talk today is because I also have happened to like talk to a lot of people. I know the struggles and the concern people usually have.
I forgot to record.
Yeah, you just told me now. Yeah, so I know the concern people usually have, and it would be nice to share the experience that we
Mm.
all have to help anybody that is interested as well.
Mm. So
Mm.
currently, where are you working?
All right. So now I'm working. I'm working in a ring company, a ring, Aura Ring. It's
Mm-hmm.
called. So Aura Ring is a fitness tracking ring.
Mm.
So that helps you manage your lifestyle and your health in terms of sleeping healthy and living a healthy lifestyle. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it from my hand. I'm already wearing one.
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah.
so what is
You,
it tracking now?
okay. Basically, you know how your smartwatches works. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, like that. It tracks for us. We deal on tracking, your sleeping patterns,
Mm-hmm.
and also tracking, using some senses, to sense how your body reacts to certain things, and we can tell your body, your body is stressed, your body is tired. You do certain things to recover, and so on and so forth. And you know, so like the blood flows, through the fingers as well, and
Mm.
with that we can get signals that tells us even more than any other part of the body. So
Wow. So
yeah, so
this is not accurate. Do you mean this one is not so accurate like the one
no,
from the
in its own way, it is. But when it comes to, for example, measurement, a certain, like say heart rate,
yeah.
it is more accurate when it is on the finger.
Okay.
Yeah, it's more accurate when it's on the finger. And I think there's a general study that proves that Aura Ring, measures with higher percentage than any other
Mm.
devices out there. Yeah.
Wow.
We are not into everything. We're just focused on a particular thing, like the sleeping thing,
Yeah.
your your body oxygen rate and so on, and yeah, stress level and so on, and even new features for the women. You'll be happy to hear this.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So now we can actually help women manage their period and
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, things like that, the women cycle things. Yeah, yeah, we've actually launched that as well. And yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
I have to look into it.
yeah, it's growing bigger, and there are a lot of more interest. Every day things are coming up and new researchings are being done, and a lot of fascinating things are being discovered. Yeah.
Mm. So what's your role? Is it just tell me what your role is?
Okay, okay.
The
Yeah,
company.
yeah. No. So I work as a software test engineer
Test engineer.
because yeah,
Oh.
because my primary profession is software
Mm.
engineering, and I branched down
Wow.
there into testing part. So
Wow.
we test all the software that comes in and out of the ring.
Mm.
That includes, some features, some functions. Are they working properly? Are they doing what they're supposed to do?
Mm.
How does the customer feel? The user, how do they feel about it when they use it? So we
Wow.
test all those things,
Fantastic.
and yeah, we make sure that they are working properly, because if they don't, we get an angry user. So
Mm.
yeah, there are people working behind the scene to make sure that things are the exact thing that
Mm.
customer or people want, and
Mm.
we want them to be. So yeah,
Exciting.
yeah. It is,
So
and it's good.
now let's go to Finland.
All right. So, welcome to Finland.
What exactly is in Finland? Where is it located at all? And how is the place like?
So Finland is in my mind, Finland is quite a unique country. Unique country in the sense that if you go to many other places, you would see a lot of different, thing, that
Mhm.
usually you can find somewhere else. But when it comes to Finland, the way it is located and where it is located, it's what makes it unique. So just like Sweden, Finland is located in the north side of the hemisphere, and part of the Scandinavia, and yeah, it's quite
Mm.
very close to the north. Yeah, I think it on the map is just at the same location with Sweden. You know,
Okay.
they are all standing like a pillar, like this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I live here in the north. Yeah,
Oh,
northern part of it, which is mostly cold.
yeah.
Not like it's super cold, but the period is longer than any other
Mm.
places. Yeah,
Yeah.
and this thing is actually one of the. I think 70% of Finland is forest. Yeah,
Mm.
so it's kind of the vegetation down here is usually like a lot of forests, lakes, and then some land. And the land is where people actually live. So
I
usually
thought
we
they were
get,
living in the forest or in the city. They live
yeah,
in the land. Wow.
yeah, it's interesting because if you get to live, you feel like there are a lot of houses. But if
Mm.
you read from the map and things like that, you'll notice that there are actually a lot of forests, than
Mm.
it
That's
is
nice.
land. Yeah,
And the environment will be very fresh.
yeah,
The air,
yeah,
the quality of the air will be very
absolutely,
fresh. Mm.
absolutely. Especially during the summer, you get to really enjoy it. It's one of
Mm.
the best, place to live for in my own definition.
Mm.
It is quite safe. It
Yeah.
is quite easy. Like the society is very equal. You know,
Mm.
and that transmits to every aspect of life, be it work, things that you do. There is that sense of equality, you know
Mm.
that sense of freedom, to do whatever you want to do. That for me, that's what makes it unique in that sense, because
Mm.
it helps people, even foreigners, to thrive. you know
I also heard I heard that Finland was rated as the happiest country
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
world.
but we down here would dispute that because
Really?
yeah, I think for everybody would have their own definition of what a happy country is. But I
Mm,
got to read an article of why they said so. It's not because everybody are every single day happy,
mm,
but it goes down to what I just said, that the equality and the
freedom.
standard of life, you
Mm,
know, because you live, this is a socialist country,
mm,
just like Sweden is,
yeah.
where government hand down things to people, and so that equality of everybody, being reached out to by government, you know, is what they term as happiest, because you don't have that in everywhere.
Mm,
So basically, government, would hand you out some, things to live with,
mm,
and if it
yeah.
gets to everybody in the country, it means on their mind, people should be happy. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. How about the weather?
Okay. What you want to hear about that?
I just want to know, like, if somebody wants to come to Finland, what am I supposed? What should I expect?
Okay. So usually, just like every other part in Europe, they have the winter, they have the summer, they have the spring, and they have the autumn.
Mm,
Okay. But usually,
facts. Yeah.
but usually in any other part of Europe, you would have, especially winter, it's like 3 months. Okay. But in Finland, it's not 3 months, if I have to say. It's like more than 3 months, because
Nine
we
months.
usually, yeah, yeah, it's between 3 to 6 months, thereabout.
Okay.
Why it is so is because we usually have more amount of snowfall than any other place in the
Yeah.
world.
Mm.
So when snow falls, it falls bigger and and larger. So it takes time for the snow to
Health.
melt, and you for you to have a dry land and so on and so forth.
Mm.
And even some summer, where the summer starts late, so it means it's going to be longer. So
Yeah,
if the
yeah.
summer actually starts, for example, in April, then it means it's going to, not be 6 months, it will be shorter in that sense. So it all depends on, when the heat starts coming to
Mm.
melt the snow, and
Yeah.
that.
Wow.
I've actually lived here once where in June we still had snow on the ground.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but
I agree. I have lived in Finland from January to June. So I had a
yeah,
fair share of how, like, in May there was still snow on the floor.
yeah, you told me that. Yeah,
It started becoming very nice. Like in January, you can't breathe very well. Like the snow, the cold is on your face.
yeah, yeah. So
Then
like this year, the snow actually even started
ah,
much earlier. Usually, winter starts every 1st of November, usually.
mm,
But this year it started in October already. So,
mm,
so in October, we already had like some days of snow.
mm.
And then since this month, it snowed like a couple of times, but the ground is already full, in that sense. And we are anticipating, a large, snowfall
Oh,
again
wow.
this year. And hopefully the summer would come much earlier, so we can
Yeah,
just
that'll
start
be
it.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
And
go into let's
okay.
go into the educational system.
Okay.
In Finland, I'm going back to Sweden. I have this sore throat, so my voice is some way. But yeah, we can. So I would like to know about the educational system.
Mm,
Normally, when we are coming to study in Finland, we will start probably in the bachelor's level
mm,
up to master's, PhD level. So, can you give us an idea of the educational system, how it is done? I know there are polytechnics as well, like in Finland. So, I will be happy to know about the full educational system.
mm. Yeah. So with that, I think it would be better. Let me share something. As I speak, I'll share like
Mm.
my screen so the viewers can as well see. Um, all right. So I guess you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, it's
All right. So I wanted to share this. I think the link also will be put on the description as well, so people
yeah.
can read it thoroughly. Because I'll just be speaking without reading exactly. So,
Mhm.
like in the Finnish education system, right?
Yeah.
The society here is very, very, I would say, robust, and the education system is very solid. I don't know. Many people might read and you hear Finnish ranks, up there, quite
Yeah.
up there
Yeah.
in terms of education system.
Yeah.
And it is all, to how the structure is of the education system. All right. So
Mm.
if you see there on that screen, they have several levels of education system, and it starts, like usually in some countries you have kids will have to wait or have to already begin school, in that sense when they get to 2 years or so on and so on.
Yeah.
But in Finland, the kids actually start even at 9 months. They can
Mm.
already begin, school, some form of school or
Yeah.
education,
Mm.
and we call that early childhood education and care. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like like what would say in Africa, baby classes,
Mm.
or preach.
Like crutch. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So like they go there, they play, and they learn one or two things if necessary, and then that's at certain age, okay.
Mm.
And when they
How,
get
that's one to it is like how much is it if you are
okay,
taking your child there?
okay, so
Maybe yeah, in case you come there and you have a baby.
okay, so these creches are managed by the municipal government, right?
Mm.
And if you're a resident of that locality, generally it is free.
Okay.
Okay, all childhood education is free in that sense. So you don't have to pay anything. You
Mm.
just have to register, and it is not mandatory, but it is important that your child go through that process.
Mm.
Okay, and then the child does that till the age of 7.
Okay.
Okay, once a child is 7 years, or if, let's say if someone is arriving when the child is already 7 years, he or she will not have to go to this class. Okay,
Mm.
you have to, because you go to school here by ages in terms of the you know pre
Mm.
higher education life. It is
Yeah.
based on your age.
Mm.
So at the age of 7, the child will have already left that early childhood education and is now studying in the pre-primary education. you know and
Yeah.
that level there is very compulsory.
Okay.
So you study there, and it's a compulsory education. It's still free for
Mm.
residents, and the child will study there for a period of time, and then at 9 years, the child will now transit to primary and lower education system. Okay,
Okay.
which at that level is more comprehensive. Is
Hmm.
I think at that level is what we in Africa say primary school, or
Okay.
yeah, something like
Mm.
that. And then the child will study there till a certain age. It's always about age, and then it gets to upper secondary school education, which that is where we say university. Oh,
Mm.
sorry, secondary school
Secondary
in
school.
Africa. Yeah. So the child studies there, and the target of this is what I noticed in the Finnish education system is that you would hardly find someone who is say under 20 starting university. Okay.
Mm.
I think the education system, especially for higher education, is meant for adults.
Mm.
And that is why they are designing it in this way, so that by the time you go through all these things, you will have been 20, and
Yeah.
above going to the university, so that you're having a matured person going to the
Yeah.
university, because the way they understand university is an independent thing that helps you to
Yeah.
study better. So they are not teaching you, but they are helping you. So
Yeah.
when you get to university, you're already an individual that can independently, do things on your own.
Wow.
Uh,
Now,
uh,
now a lot of things make sense to me now.
yeah, yeah. So that's how you can see the structure there, so that by the time you get there, everything they believe that you're now on your own. And now, if you go to that education, higher education in here in Finland, they have two types of higher education, like you mentioned, polytechnic. So
Mm,
us here we have the same polytechnic,
mm,
and they call it universities of applied sciences. Okay,
mm,
so we have universities and you have universities of applied sciences,
mm.
which the applied sciences is equivalent of polytechnics.
Okay.
Okay, so the idea here is that universities are for students that are targeting to live life in the academic um, system.
Mm,
For example, they will go on to become PhD doctors
yeah.
and go on to become professors and research aligned kind of
Yeah.
education. And people that go to the applied sciences will go on to have a professional life, that is work in some company, work,
Mm,
move on to work in
yeah.
professional life in that sense. And
Mm,
that's how the system is tailored. And
yeah.
so it all depends on the individual where they want to fall in. Do you see yourself in the academic design?
Mm,
Then you have to you study in the design, but not necessarily when you are applying. All of them all give the same kind of education. All of
mm,
them give the same standard, and all of them give the same acceptable certificate at the end of your study.
mm,
And by the way, people that studied in applied sciences can as well move on at a certain time in life, move on to become doctors and professors. You just need to switch by
yeah.
applying, and then the equivalence of the certificate you receive from both places is so up there that you don't even get to see any difference between where you
Mm,
studied. Okay, so that's the thing about there. And the higher education level here, one must be able to prove themselves that okay, they are capable of studying at the higher education level in that
yeah.
sense. So that comes, that brings about the requirement, and that they will ask you the different steps of the admission process that you have to pass through in order for you to study there.
Wow. So you went through the this educational system
Yeah.
for 8 years, or for how many years were you studying in Finland?
Okay, so in my own case, is a bit different because I arrived here to study. I do my masters. I had already done bachelor somewhere. Okay, so the master usually is a 2-year program. Okay,
Yeah.
but here they have what they call study rights. So study right is like the right for you to study at during a certain period of time. For example, your program is 1 year. When I say 1 year, it means that your program finishes in 1 year. Your education program you came for will
Mm,
you will have graduated by the end of 1 year. Okay,
yeah.
so but the school, because universities here
Mm,
is tailored for you.
yeah.
It's not the other way around. So the system is built after your own interest and how you can, move on. They are not doing it so that you can follow the school, but the school is following you and trying to adapt
Wow.
to you in
That's
that sense.
profound.
Yeah. So that is why it's a university, because
Mm,
they make it so easy for you to be able to study if you want to study. In that sense, so if it was 1 year, they will give you double of that. That is 2 years.
mm,
Okay. So the 2 years is to give you time because it's a university and it is a master program. Okay. So they are giving you time they know that probably you're going to work. Okay. Because if
mm,
you're doing masters, you're very independent at that moment, that they
yeah.
expect you to be working and they
Mm,
expect you to be doing something else and not just study. Okay.
wow.
So they give you that time period and they call that study right. So that that time period is when they expect you to finish. So in my own case, my program was 2 years. I could have used 2 years if I wanted. I could have used three, but the maximum I could use is 4 years. So my study right in that sense was 4 years,
Okay.
to study. So in that case, most people that are working and doing certain things, to survive, they have more time to, break down their this thing and take it easy, in that sense.
My
And
God, that's
that's
amazing.
yeah, that's why the education system here is, top notch in that sense because you get to see things very differently from how you've always understood university. In
Yeah.
that sense, that it is actually about you. Actually there to help you study, not you to help the university. You know,
Yeah.
but to help you an individual to become what you want to be, and that for me is why people always say it's one of the best in the world.
Yeah. Okay. So what about the bachelor's? If you are doing bachelor's, what amount of time do you have? How much time do you have to finish?
Okay, so I think it doesn't really apply to the bachelors.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yeah, it doesn't really apply to the bachelors because
Mm,
the bachelors still, let's say that is their early higher education life. Okay,
mm,
so I've not met someone who that was applicable to, like they had, had extended, but
mm,
usually it doesn't mean that you can't have it. I've
mm,
also had someone that had to, you will need to write in an application to get that. And it's always given. It must be given. Okay.
mm.
So
If
for
you need more
example,
time,
yeah, sorry?
if you need more time, you can ask for more time.
Exactly. So
That's
for example, if you were studying, your program was 3 years, and maybe something happened along the line and you couldn't, maybe you were sick. When you
mm,
are sick, it's actually compulsory that you take a break. Okay,
mm,
and get well before you can continue. And if things like that happen, some people like do maybe maternity leave. You need to
mm.
take a break, to nurture your newborn and things like that.
Yeah.
And you need to write them, and they will definitely give you. That's a valid reason, and they will pause your studies, give you the time off, and then
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want to do and come back.
Mommy, mommy, that's you.
That's me. I have a vista here.
That's you.
Yeah, that's me. I'm talking with brother Imo.
You take with other mommy.
Yeah, that's mommy too. Okay. Can I speak to brother Imo? Go and play with Roy, okay? Bye-bye. Good boy. Yes.
I think
Wow.
I think I think he's interested to study in Finland.
I'm so lucky that he accepted to go. Anyway, so let's continue. So the educational system is very like flexible. They're helping you to, be successful. It's not like you're trying to push you down or make you fail. If you don't come to school, you're going to fail, that kind of thing. If you don't do this.
I
Another
think
thing that I know about the examination, would you like to share a little bit about how examination is conducted in Finland? It's very interesting. I would like to hear a
yeah,
little bit.
I think the kind of education system you mentioned is, I think, it's only obtainable mostly in Africa,
Mm,
where we come from. But yeah, it's different here. So in
mm,
terms of the exams, in terms of the examination, in my own experience, it's quite open and very fair. You know. Now, so when after, there are some courses do not have exams, but some do. Some courses demand you to have turn in your assignments and turn in or participate in groups, because studies here mostly are done in group. When you're in your program, they will split you into groups, or you can find your friends, and form a group. So that is where you will do your homework and submit, or maybe some presentation. There are a lot of presentation in their studies as well. And sometimes that can count like a point for you, that you don't have to, you can already have your point before writing exams. Yeah, like most of my courses, during the classwork and everything, I've already gotten the point that I don't need to write the exams, and that's very easy. And if you are studying, I think you should be thinking about that, activeness in class and so on. But when it comes to writing the exams, everybody, the whole school have an examination timetable at a certain period of the year, and okay, maybe I should start. The school studies here has like cycles, they call them cycles. So we have one, the first cycle, second cycle, third and fourth, and it's split into the school academic calendar. Okay, so the first cycle is when September 1st to October somewhere. Okay, and by the end of October somewhere, they're going to have an exam written for those courses that you did during the first cycle. Okay, and so the second cycle starts November to somewhere, December, early January. Yeah. And you're going to write the exam just like that, and so on. And you're going to have 4 times this kind of situations. And while those things happen, some courses will finish and some courses will already have started again in that sense. And exam here is written like the whole university has an examination timetable, and 1 or 2 ways your courses that you did in any of those cycles will fall during that examination time. And they have a very big hall, they call them examinarium, where you go there to write the exams. And why I said the exam here are fair is that you would have courses where you would need to read, okay, and write. But when I mean read and write, you're not basically writing, say, what you already read from the book. They are not basically asking you to write back, what you read from the book, but they're asking you to write what you understand in that sense. I've had a situation once where I just read exactly as the teacher, said, and then he gave me a good mark, but in the class, he was like that. No, you should write what you your own word, how you understand this. Explain yourself, and that for me was an opener because they don't need you to tell them what they already told you. They want you to put it in your own brain and put it in a different way, how you would understand and tell people else to understand this thing. And that's how the exam goes. They want you to write a lot. So that means you have to really think and then understand the thing really well so that you can build so many things out of it and tell them. And believe me, everything you write will make sense to them, so long as it's in your own language and your own understanding, because they want to see you kind of like come up with something of your own, be innovative, be some person that think and be able to come up with something that they will say, okay, this is how another human being thinks, and so on. But the exam here basically are very easy, If you don't make it the first time, it's no problem, okay? Because you can write at least 3 times. Yeah, you can write at least 3 times, yeah, to succeed in exam. And that makes it very easy because if the first time you wrote, like what happens to most Africans, including me, is that when you write the first one, you think you didn't do well, you don't like the mark that you got. You can, still say, I want to write again until you get a certain mark. And yeah, but I've had friends like the Finnish people, they don't really care. They just write the first one, whatever comes, they go and so on. Yeah, so,
they have no problem. They're in their own country.
yeah. It's so easy in that sense that anybody that is really focused, should be able to make it. Even if you have a very busy lifestyle based on life situation, which normally happens, you should be able to, get there to a point where you get something out of it that is of a certain acceptable, standard. Yeah.
I think that this system is very similar to what we have here in Sweden. But they give you, if you passed, you don't have a right to write again.
Oh.
Yeah. It's like you don't have, like, if you have a pass mark, I think you see if it is not, if the mark is not a fail, there's no need for it to. You don't have a right to write again. But it's similar. We also have like 3 times. You can write 3 times.
Okay, so
schools is 2 times. You can write exams twice.
Yeah, you only write when you fail.
Yeah.
That's
You,
it.
that, you have a right when you feel like up to some point. But I don't know. I think it's not the same in every university. Some universities you can always write if you are not satisfied. Some other universities you only have a right if maybe if you had D or E or F, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and by the way, maybe I should add that like according to the necessary requirement, because okay, maybe now they have changed the law that you don't have to every year renew your residency because they I'm trying to link this to the reason why you need to do well in your exams is because not just you're studying, but because it is a demand that the immigration system will constantly check.
mm, what happened? We've lost you, but you can see you are still here. Okay, it's connecting back. I lost you again.
Yeah, yeah. That's So I was saying because the demand, the reason here is because of the demand from the immigration system,
Mm,
which all of us, one way or the other, we have been, held by. You know.
yeah.
But the law has changed now because if you're arriving to study, they already will give you um, like on your residence permit, they will give you the full year of your study. For example, if your study lasts 3 years, so you have 3 years permit on your residence. Okay.
Mm,
If your study is two, it will be two. If it is
okay.
one, it will be one. So before, when I arrived, it used to be that you every year you
Okay.
need to renew, and that means that every year you need to make sure that you have at least 55
Complete. Yeah.
PCT scores every year.
Mm,
But this year, they don't, you don't need to apply again. But there is still that law that they will from time to time check, and you don't know what they check to make sure
mm,
that you're studying, you're doing those things. So if your exam, your studies, will reflect, on your residence permit as well, because you're students here, you came to study, and you must have a certain, standard met at the
yeah.
end of the school calendar year. Yeah.
Hmm. So that means that the rules or the relaxation is there, but it doesn't apply fully to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you have to just try and make it the first time or maybe the second time whilst you are continuing your studies.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
can't be breaking.
Yeah. You
That's
the
why.
idea the
Mm,
idea is that you came to study, right? So you have to be studying.
mm,
Okay? Because let's be honest, there are people that would come and their intention, they came by, the idea they want to study, but that's not the real intention.
yeah, you
So,
want to
yeah,
work.
yeah, yeah. So they don't want it that way, because if you want to work, you should be getting a working permit, not study. So
Yeah,
they make sure that if you came to study, you should be studying. But if you're studying, it doesn't mean you can't work. That's this. That's the this
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can you should work. It's also necessary you should work. They put it there that you can work, but at
Mm,
the same time, your work that should not disrupt your studies,
mm.
and you have
Wow,
to balance.
we'll do another video about work like jobs in Finland. But
Yeah.
there you have that relaxation there too. Like you have a right to work whilst you are studying, is it? Do
Yes.
you have any limitation on the number of hours you are supposed to work, or it is
Okay.
open?
So now the new limitation now is 30 hours per week.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That 30 hours per week, it doesn't mean that in a week it has to be 30 hours.
Mm.
But what the calculation would be at the end of the year, of 1 year, have you exceeded 30, per week times four, and then times 12 in that sense?
Okay. Okay.
So you need to have, I think that's 1,000 something. You need to have an hour of that every year. So let's say if you get a job that you want to work more than 30 hours, it's up to you. But at the end of the year, 1 year, you should not exceed 30 hours per week.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because the how would they check? How would they check the number of hours you worked?
Okay, so they do have pay slips when you because like if they find something fishy and they want to check, that's where they go to your pay slip, the number of hours that are accumulated on your pay
Oh,
slip, and also the amount of money you receive will tell them, okay, because here everything you work per hour.
yeah.
Okay. So they know how much a certain kind of job would fetch, in
Yeah.
an hour. So from there they can easily know, okay, this money is more than amount of money that you would work 30 hours per week. So you need some explaining to do that. I
Okay.
think currently there's a situation, maybe we
Mm.
are not going too deeper into the work thing since you say we'll be doing a different
No, but
thing.
it's okay. We can chip it in.
Yeah, there is a situation even on ground of a certain person that is having issue with the immigration because he did more than he should do. As Yeah, he worked more than 30 hours, and
Yeah.
they want to deport him. So it's quite
Mm.
a serious thing here
Mm.
that
But as
you.
first, was it open?
Sorry.
Was it open? Was it more than 30 hours before, or it was just now?
Yeah, okay. When I arrived, it was 40,
Okay.
but I think
That's
the
full
law,
time.
yeah, the law changed. The law changed. I think 2022.
Okay.
They
Mm.
started making it 30. And just like Sweden, they are having new immigration laws, to tighten
Mm-mm-mm.
things up somehow. But it's still okay. You can still survive and manage, the
Mm.
way they come.
Okay. Now let's move into the studies. Like, if I want to study in Finland, what what are some of the benefits? Or maybe should I start with how I can apply to
Okay.
study it in Finland, and what are the requirements for people outside the EU?
Okay. So usually studies here in Finland are in different, they have different admission streams. Okay. um January 3rd to January 14th is when they have the biggest and the largest by far admission stream, and they call it joint application, admission system. All right. They also have others that they call separate application. They have transfer application. They have direct applications.
Hey.
All of them, they just have a different name given, but they are all applications.
Mm.
But out of all of these, the main one that foreigners, that is people from outside Finland,
Mm.
can
Like
really,
EU.
outside EU even, can really apply conveniently is the joint application. Why it is joint? The name joint means that you can apply a certain amount of application in one form
Mm.
without having to apply and send document to different places. You can just apply to one, with one form to different universities, and that's why it's called joint.
Okay.
So the application system is in that way that the joint application you can apply to a maximum of 6 schools
Okay.
or 6 programs, not schools, 6 programs. So maybe you're interested in different kinds of programs. So you can use one form and apply to 6 programs at a time.
Yeah.
And the duration is between that January 4th to January 14th.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once it is done there, the
January
admission,
4th to 14th. Okay.
yes.
Very
So,
short, 2 weeks.
yeah, yeah.
Then 1st January to 14th January.
Yeah, so yeah, I think some program is already third. Yeah,
Okay.
some even December, some even start from this, but generally on
Mm.
average is January. But some even start December, maybe 16th thereabout. So what I usually tell people that I advise on this is that you should already be ready by December,
Yeah.
because you'll be having, because in October, November, December is usually when you have separate applications and direct applications.
Mm.
And those ones come very rarely. Yeah. They come very rarely in the sense that it is an individual university that hosts this kind of admissions. Okay.
Mm.
So for example, the separate application is means that you're applying to different programs separately.
Mm.
Okay. So if you're doing 10 programs, you apply 10 applications.
Yeah.
That's why it is separate. And then the direct one seems like the separate one, but in this case, you're applying directly to the department of that program.
Yeah.
Okay. And then all of these application processes, you'll have a chance of being heard and also being, given fair chance of going through the process if you qualify, because they have pre-requirements.
Yeah.
When I arrived, the main requirement was, okay, for masters, okay, if you're studying in the university, to study at the university.
Oh my God. You have to change your internet.
I don't know why. I hope it's not from me because I'm looking at all my. They are still
From
connected.
you, but I think you have to check your connection. It doesn't happen often, or it is just today.
No, yeah, it's just today I'm noticing, and all my other devices are still connected to the internet. Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah,
let's continue.
yeah. Where was I?
You're
Okay,
talking
so
about a different direct application.
yeah. Okay, so now they have pre-requirements that you need to meet. When I arrived, I was lucky enough, okay, that if you're studying, I mentioned university and applied sciences universities, okay, they have different kind of approaches to these admission processes. Is that for the university, you must have you must, exhibit English test, certification, and that could be TOEFL, it could be IELTS and PE and so on and so forth. They have standard that you need to reach. Okay. So when I came for masters, I had to write that. Okay, that one is basic given for a university. But during then, the applied sciences did not have that.
Okay.
So they didn't have that standard. So you only need to apply, and then they will call you for interview or entrance exam as they do. And when you pass, you can move on to study. But now, unfortunately, this year they have just begun, like the applied sciences have now begun asking for English test results.
Yeah.
Why is it so? Why is it so? It's because over the span of 2 years now, there have been quite an unbelievable number of applications, to study in Finland, and Finland is quite, a very, honest country in that sense that they don't want to be on the side of saying they are collecting you money for. They know they won't give you the services, but they collect money, so they want to be fair, and that's their logic. So they start doing that now. So anybody who is applying to a program should be thinking of having English test, And the good thing there is that the applications are all free, but you need to have all the requirement. That is, your document needs to be correct, like they ask you to. And English test. English test now is now screened from the very moment you apply. Do you have English test or not? You don't, then your admission does not even proceed to the selection phase, and so on. So now that is the only new thing in the admission pool. And if you get that, you can apply to, different courses and different programs of your choice. And the selection process is quite fair. I can say that. You need, like the applied sciences, they have what they call entrance exams. And this entrance exam is written for all the programs. And once the program, you write and pass, that means all the programs you selected, you have passed for them. If you fail, it means you have failed for all the programs. That's how it is. And so with that, if the admission should be given, you will have an interview. Okay. In my own mind, once you start having that interview, then you're 90% successful in that application, because interview for me is always like, okay, you have gotten this. It's like, okay, they want you, and this is why you're having interview. And then you just need to nail the interview, and then the next thing they will send you the offer.
I'm listing some of the things we'll be talking about. So in future we'll have a video on the interview questions and how to approach them.
Okay. Okay.
What you should expect. And but my right now I'm a bit confused for the joint application.
Yeah.
Is it to both applied sciences and the usual university?
Okay. So the joint application, when you're using that, it doesn't matter because okay, I don't know in Ghana what is prevalent, but in Nigeria we have this universities body they call JAM.
Mm,
That if anybody wants to go to university, you need to apply through JAM. You need to pass JAM, right? So the joint application is just similar to that. Okay,
yeah.
is that you have different program, whether it is in polytechnic or universities or wherever it is. Okay, you can choose whatever program it is, but it has to be six.
Mm.
Okay,
But
you
so
can.
in Finland, which portal is used in
Okay,
Finland to apply?
so we have I think I can share that as well. It's called study info.
Okay.
Okay, study info is like the university's JAM, in that sense,
Um,
university governing body. So that's where you submit your application to. Okay, it's on this link. I will send this education. We'll put the link. So if you click on higher education, you should be able to see that. Oh, okay, not related, but I can give that. Let's see, study. Okay, so yeah, it's called study info. They changed the name to. Let me share my screen. Um,
that would be helpful. So those who want to apply maybe in January would be able to go and check now. But it's not opened until January, right?
yeah, it's not open. All what you need to do now is to probably go to each of those universities and their program, know what the requirements are. Okay, know what the requirements are, and try to make sure you have those requirements before January.
Mm.
So this is the application sort of portal,
Okay. Mm.
study info,
So you
where
can go and search, right? You can search the programs there.
yeah, like for example, you can see admission result for this is the one that just passed. Okay,
Mm.
so this is the joint application that is to begin soon, right? So
Mm.
this is where you follow. It's actually on the 3rd of January. It starts 8 a.m. finish time and finishes 17th
Ooh,
January 2024.
so short.
So yeah, it's still short 2 weeks, like you said. So you can read here. We'll put the link in the bio so people can have access to it and go through it. Go through the school and the programs, there, and it should be quite easy, to
So
apply.
right now, if you have your English exams, you can apply. If you don't have, you have to start. You have to go and sit that English exams. Otherwise, you can't apply, right? You need
Yes.
the English exams before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why didn't they scrap it? I
Al-
think it's
although although they may still, but you can't bank on that probability that
right.
maybe, because like you're talking of a case of it is 100% sure they're asking for English exam, but I
Mm.
know also how things are here, that there may be one or two schools, but it could be one of those two schools. The program they offer is not of your choice. The
Okay.
program they offer is not something that you can necessarily do, because I can advise somebody also. There are programs that you should do in order for you to be able to join, get work. When we talk about that section, we'll
Yeah,
elaborate on
yeah.
that.
The program
So,
that helps you to get a job. Yeah.
job here, because of course, let's be very honest. It is not ABC. That you
Mm.
finish study, you get a job.
Mm.
It takes a whole lot of things from you, and you have to
Mm.
be very smart, starting from what you're studying and how you arrange your study line so that it can benefit you after studies, in that
Yeah.
sense. So there are a lot to consider, and I always advise people. I think if someone is very serious, we have from now till January, this 1 month plus, someone can actually write an English test,
Mm.
really. But the thing about English test is you can't assume that it is easy. You
Mm.
have to really prepare and write it, and be ready, because the surprise there is I have a lot of people that they go in there because they think they speak English and they assume it's going to be easy, and they go there, it's a different kind of thing. So
Yeah.
you have to be very ready to write it and make sure you pass it. I think
Mm,
they need university, some schools need 6.0,
mm,
and like the applied sciences, because they're just starting it, they are not even asking you to have maybe a certain section, a certain mark. They
mm.
just say, give us 6.0 and we'll take you.
Okay.
So I would tell people, if you want to come to applied sciences, probably just get 6.0.
It'll be
But the
fine.
universities goes higher and they ask you, okay, in each sections, you should
Mm,
have maybe 6.0 minimum in
mm.
each section, and that is different. So I think it's doable, it's achievable if someone
Yeah.
gets to it.
You really want to come.
Yeah.
I wrote the exam when I was coming to Finland, when I was trying to apply to Finland. I wrote the exams,
Yeah.
but when I was applying, it was a Erasmus Mundus program, and they didn't request for it. I'm like,
Ah,
hey,
yeah,
I paid this amount. It's expensive.
yeah,
I think it's like $100 or so, £100
it
or so to
is.
be able
It
to write. And I'm like,
is.
and I enjoy the fact that there was no application fee.
Still,
So in there's no application fee still in Finland. In
still.
Sweden, there's application fee, but no,
No
but
English
allowed.
test.
So you
Yeah.
can, instead of paying application fee, use that application fee to pay for your English exams so
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
can
yeah.
go into
Yeah,
Finland.
but there is no one size fit all, if you can see there,
Yeah,
because like it all depends on what program they offer.
yeah.
Both of them still demand you to do sacrifice one thing, which
You
is
have to
uncomfortable.
sacrifice some.
So you have to really check. Okay, for me, because I always tell people like, don't look at it this way. Okay, the English test lasts 2 years, right?
Mm,
And after 2 years is expired. If you can make it, you give you a chance of being sure that between the period of now and the next one
yeah.
year to come or 2 years to come, that you will solidly have a very strong background of application. That
Mm,
means that if you don't succeed this year, not that you're praying not to, but if you don't succeed this year,
mm,
by God's grace, next time you apply, something
mm,
will definitely come because you're not the experience you get from even applying, after doing that,
yeah. Will help
and
you.
you don't have, yeah, you don't have to write the exam twice. So if you can get it done, you have already something that. But mostly, if you can apply this thing and you have a very strong this thing. First of all, for the applied sciences,
Mm,
if you pass the entrance exams,
yeah.
um, it for me it's always easier there. If you pass the entrance exam, then
Mm,
you stand a very big chance of getting admitted.
mm. But okay, like, I want to ask two questions. Then we have to close because time is running.
Okay.
One question is the question about fees, school fees, and then whether there is scholarship available. But I want clarification a bit on the entrance examination. Is it online examination? How is it like? If you have any information about it, then we go
Okay.
into that fees because most EU countries people outside EU countries may have to pay fees or they may have to request for a scholarship. So these two things are very important before we end this video.
Okay. Very, very important. Even for
Yeah.
me, it would be important. Yeah. So, okay. The entrance exams is written online. So that means wherever you are, because when you are applying, you're still in your home country.
Yeah.
Okay. And they won't give you visa to come and write exam here. So
Mm-hmm.
they don't do that. So you write it online. They will give you specification of how the computer, you need to do settings on it, what they need you to have, which is mostly a very good internet connection and good browsing facilities that
Yeah.
can help you to browse on the portal that they want to give you.
Yeah.
Because some devices would limit that, your accessibility to those
Yeah.
portals. And those are mostly what they ask. I've not heard maybe they will start asking for you to have web camera, but
Mm.
previously I've helped people to do them and they never asked those. So that is outside the thing.
Yeah.
Now, once you get those things, you can easily be able to, join the exams. They will send you link to the entrance exam where like a week before the exam time. That is to
So,
help you.
so hold on. They will call you, interview you, and also give you examination. Is it they do both?
Okay, they don't call
They
you.
applied.
Yeah, they don't. Once you apply, this is how when you apply, yeah, and automatically everybody that applies, will be given a link for the entrance exams.
Okay.
Okay, so once you apply, after a certain period, when the admission application session is over, they will now send a link that there will be exams also that, and you have to prepare for that exams. And then after the link is being set, the link is for you to register on that portal and set up your computer and be ready. So
Yeah.
when the date comes, you write the exams. If you get a certain mark from the exam that you wrote, then they will now proceed with you to interview.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And some people do not make it past the exams in many cases. So you won't get the interview. So for me, once you get to the point of having the interview,
Then it's almost.
there is a very higher percentage of you being admitted in
Yeah.
all the cases that I've witnessed. Once you get the interview, the percentage of getting that thing is very high in that sense, and it's more likely you get it. Okay. So when going back to the other question
Your
of
fees, your school fees.
school fees. Now in Finland, when I was lucky enough to come here, 2015, when there was no tuition fee. Okay? And so
Lucky.
yeah, lucky. And so no tuition fee means no scholarships. There is no need to give scholarship when there is no tuition fee. And now, since 2018, there was a new law passed by the Finnish government, the federal government of Finland, that foreigners, that is third countries nationals, that is countries outside the EU, needs to start paying tuition fee. Now, when they started doing that in 2018, the schools here did not want to really implement that. Okay. So what they did in place of that was because it's the federal government law that binds all school system. Okay. So they had to find a way to implement it differently that it won't affect the students, and that was how they initiated the scholarship scheme. So what usually did happen was that you get the admission and then you have a scholarship. Okay. So anybody that got the admission got the scholarship. Anybody got admission, you got the scholarship in that sense. So there was no kind of say scholarship, pre-scholarship before this time that you get to start because you're not paying tuition fee. You're only paying for your cost of living. Okay. But now most schools now have adapted into that system that the scholar.
Oh no, we lost you again.
Out of this break.
Yeah, maybe we went for just a short break. Short break.
Yeah. So I was saying like so now the school systems now, the universities and the applied science universities now have now adapted to this kind of tuition fee thing. Maybe because they have seen now, okay, more money is coming into the system because let's be honest.
I don't want us to talk about the scholarship, but we'll talk about it. So we're on a commercial break now. We'll be back soon.
I don't know.
It's a short commercial break.
No, that was too quick. Okay,
We
let me start
don't
again.
want you to talk about the scholarship, but we'll talk about.
I
Let's
think
talk about
somebody's angry about it somewhere.
it.
Okay, so I think the government started pushing too hard on the school systems or the universities and the applied sciences that they started cutting funds. You know, I remember one time that even some people were losing their job because they were cutting funding. So now the school system, now the universities and the schools, they now have to really embrace this tuition fee thing from foreigners because let's be honest, it brings a lot of money. You know, in some economy,
Yeah,
they can actually really depend on that. And
yeah,
now it's become like fast forward 2023,
yeah.
become like a very normal thing now
Mm,
that tuition fee, is collected. But there are still scholarships.
mm,
Okay. There are still scholarships. But now this is how they implement the scholarship is that for the first year students that arrive, okay, some
mm,
school, it depends is at the discretion of each universities and applied sciences. Okay. Some education body, they implement it differently from another. So you might have a scholarship that is, good here, but different there, and so on and so forth. There is no say same way of doing it in every universities. So what they do now is that some schools might give you scholarship of 20%, 50% to 100%.
mm.
Yeah, and they say it depends on your um, assessment, how they assess your document and everything, how you pass the exams and so on, during the interview and so on. And some schools they implement it differently. That it depends on how this the level, the highest they can give. Some don't even give past 50%. Some
Mhm.
give 100, some give 20, some give 20. It depends on every individual school. When you're
But hold
searching,
on, hold on. Oh. The exams, I thought it was only for the applied science. Is it for every university?
okay, now, so if the university, if you're applying for bachelor's, there will be this thing also an entrance exam for
O-
bachelor's into universities.
Okay.
And also for applied sciences, they are into bachelor's. I think I didn't mention that. There's distinction here. But masters, you don't need to write entrance exams
Okay.
because for masters into universities, you apply, they will assess your document, your previous BSc documents, and
Mm,
it matches the program that you're going to study.
yeah.
Okay. And then depending on who else is applying, if you fit the criteria, they will call you for interview.
Okay.
That is master is more easier sometimes in that sense. And now the same thing with applied science masters, it goes the same way. I
Okay.
think the applied science master, they will ask you to have previous job experience because it
Mm,
is a
yeah.
professional this thing, university this thing,
Mm.
examination. So that is
Right.
how it is being applied.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Then, so how much is the fees?
Okay.
If you are going for, let's talk about masters and bachelors. Let's separate it. How much is the fee? Estimates.
Drum roll. So the fee for studies on average, okay, for universities it varies from school to school, but you're talking of an average between 9,000 to 12,000.
Mm,
9,000 euros to 12,000 euros. Okay.
1,000. Is it
And
money the year in the whole year or what?
yeah, for one school academic year.
9,000
Yeah.
to
Not your whole program, but just 1 year.
wow.
Yeah.
9,000 to
Is
10,000.
it is expensive or cheap?
It's so cheap.
Yeah, I was good because I saw how much it is in Sweden. I was like,
And I think
wow,
it's almost the same.
it's almost the same.
Almost the same.
Yeah. And in applied science, you could talk of between the range of 8,000 to say, 10,000 about. Yeah.
Mm,
So
mm,
yeah, universities, they charge you more. Applied science a bit lesser, in that sense. And you just have to, when you're applying, like I was mentioning, when you're applying, they all have this information that you have to read and find which one really suits you. Yeah. When I'm helping people to apply, I know what their needs are. So one of those things, like you have mentioned, is always money, cost of the tuition fee and how much scholarship is applied. So those things are written there for you to see. So you know that okay, the school takes this, and you can already envisage how much it will cost you. That's also from why you're choosing a certain program in some sense, not because it's the best program, but affordability also.
Sometimes, yeah. So some programs they normally give more, others they don't give so much scholarship.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right, that's okay. Interesting to know. So everyone who wants to start looking into Finland can be kind of have an idea of what they should expect.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that if anyone who is watching or will be watching this later is interested in going to Finland, we'll put the contact information down so you can request if you want some kind of assistance. Then we can put you into contact with Imo. Then you have to fulfill all the requirements that you need to be able to apply. I know it's a bit complex, it's a bit like out there. If you want to go to Finland, like it's a new learning process. It's not the same with Sweden. It's like every country is different. So
Absolutely.
I just want to put it out there for anyone who is interested to get in touch with us for some assistance.
Yeah, and I'll be happy to help. Currently, I do help some people also,
Yeah,
some group of people also that are always trying to
yeah,
um, move and study in Finland.
yeah,
I think last year we did that. We're a bit successful. About
yeah.
two people succeeded. So it
Wow.
just a little motion, but yeah, it's positive. So
Mm.
I'll be happy to help anybody, share with them my experience and knowledge on these things, and hopefully they will get to be successful as well.
Okay, we are closing now, but I just want to know why should I come to Finland to study? What exactly is in Finland that I should choose over other countries? I mean, pitch your country to us.
Okay, I'm not a Finn, so I might
You're
not even do it.
almost.
I might not even do a good job of doing that. But from again, it depends. It depends on the individual. Yeah, like me, my expectation, it goes to your expectation of what you're looking for. Okay, when I moved to Finland, I was I was thinking, okay, I'm moving from Ukraine to a much more in terms of activeness, activity, fun life, and so on and so forth. But to my greatest surprise, it's quite different in Finland. Is that it's not really active. Okay, to start with, the absolute population of Finland is just 5 million. So that means that people are not much. People are scarce in that sense, and that was one of my greatest shock was that it's not very active. It's quite quiet. Yeah, it's quite quiet. But for me, what really makes it more interesting, yeah, is the opportunities. Okay, I've tried to travel to different places. Okay, I've been to different places, and that includes the top name up there, and the kind of peace of mind that you get here, you cannot get in those places. Despite those places are fun to live, those places are nice to live. Life is.
Can you mention those please those places?
Oh, okay, so I've been to like Paris, France. I've been to like Germany. Yeah, I've been to all the bigger countries in
Have you
terms
gone
of
to UK,
UK.
US,
No. Okay, so
Canada?
that's a story for another time. The US, before coming to Finland, that was the target. US, Canada, and so on. But
Mm,
comparing life there and life here, yeah,
mm,
I I would say based on what I actually want, yeah,
mm,
what I see my future in the next 5 to 10 years, this
mm,
really fits me. And I
mm,
think it's not a one size fits all. There are people that it will fit them differently based on what they want. Some people will just want stability in life. Okay.
Mm.
And I would say that if you're focusing on just stability in life and you're not looking for, say, you want to maybe have access to the best, show out there and so on. If you're really thinking about your life to, establish your life and, to fix your life and, then for me, this is a better place because
Mm.
the society, is very good at that it helps you grow as a new, let's say, a new person coming up trying to grow into that point where you have your own family and so on. This is the best place because the
Mm.
system is really built for that. Okay. But you can't really balance it. You can't really balance it because you have that, and then the fun part, you don't really have it.
You don't
You
have
get
the
it?
fun.
So you have to look deeper into what exactly you want. For me, this
Mm.
is what I want, a place where I can settle down and I
Yeah.
have peace of mind. And here's the thing, I
Mm.
can travel to anywhere I want to right now.
Yeah.
Right? I can go to anywhere I want to right now and come back. And that
Mm.
for me is fun.
Yeah.
And I go to maybe UK, go to US and come back,
Yeah.
and so on. And it's really fun for me. And at the end, I'm really settled here, have peace of mind, it's secure. There is no crime, basically almost zero. I don't want to say there is no, but basically almost
Almost
0%.
zero.
Yeah. So it's not high.
Mm.
And you get to have peace of mind. You're sleeping and you don't even worry what may happen, at night and so on. So it's really a good place for me to start from. For
Mm.
people that are looking to establish their life,
Yeah.
you can start here, and maybe in the future you say, okay, you're done. You can maybe decide to move to somewhere else and start your continue your life. Not even start, continue your life there. Yeah.
Wow. So if you want peace of mind, if you want a place to settle, grow a family, then it's
It's here. It's
Finland.
here. It's
Then
here. I think. I think
when
also,
you want some fun, you can travel and come back.
exactly. That's how I see it now. Yeah. But if you come with you want to have fun, you
Yeah.
are not going to have fun. it, no, it's. I have to be very honest. It's going to fail you in that sense. But if you come with this is you want to establish yourself because like here is very accepting environment. Things are quite open,
Mm.
and you can see why people are applying. A lot of people are applying now is because people
Isaac,
now,
welcome. How are you?
yeah,
Okay,
because
continue.
people have started seeing those things, and that is why in application for instance, in a program they need to take 40 people. you
Mm.
know you have thousands of people apply, and that
Mm.
is why they now started having the English test to reduce the number of people because people have started realizing Finland, and they are beginning to say, hey, hold on, why have we not thought about Finland all this while? And they are trying to reduce that number now. So yeah, for me it's really a win-win kind of thing, really.
How about um how about like people with families? I have a family who have children also get some benefit from the
Yeah,
system. Can you throw light on it? It might be interesting to
yeah, yeah,
people who have children.
yeah. So I did not know this. I did
Mm.
not know this because I've helped somebody,
Mm.
came from Nigeria down here. I
Mm.
didn't know that you and your family can at the same time apply to move to Finland, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, yeah. So my fear was for them not to go and disqualify the person in this
Yeah.
case. So, but it's quite possible. But it's all going to be about how much meeting the financial requirement to make
Mm.
that move, right? But you and your family at the same time you get the admission can all move together to
Mhm.
study here, and they'll become like there's what they call dependency. All right. So your family now will depend on your status.
Yeah.
And while your family is here, have moved here, your kids can go to school. Just like I've already mentioned, this education structure.
Mm.
Depending on their ages, they will have to go fit themselves in a certain, where they fit in the education system. And it's all free. That's it,
Um,
it's all free. And your wife can, like, I have people here that brought their family and so on, and their wife gets to start what they call like integration program. It's a learning school that they teach you, language to assimilate to the environment,
Yeah.
while you are studying and you are doing maybe something else. Your wife can as well work if there is work. She can as well work and do other things, and she's just going to be the same hour of work like you, 30 hours in that sense. So it's quite easy.
And
It's
the
quite,
integration program is free.
yes,
Wow.
it is free. All these things are being, it's a socialist country. I said it before, and all these
Yes,
things are
yes.
being run
Welfare.
by, yeah,
Mm,
taxes.
mm,
So you pay a lot of taxes. The standard of living is quite high, to be fair,
mm.
and that comes from the taxes that you pay from every single thing that you do. You're being taxed,
I
and
heard
all
that
this to
if you
help you.
have children too, the government gives you some support.
Yeah,
How much is that?
how about that?
I'm interested.
so so I may not really know the figure how much, but my knowledge is that um if you have more than one kid, in fact, I have friends that put to bed. What
Mm.
they usually do, that once you put to bed, the government will provide you with all those basic things that the baby needs, like diapers and baby cots and some blankets and some free gifts,
Ah.
things like that for the
Mm.
newborn baby,
Yeah.
during that first week. Okay. And
Mm.
if your wife is already on what they call killer, which is like the social funds, okay, she will already be receiving some stipend between 100 to 200 upward, depending on how much they give now. I'm not really sure, but they do give something. But the more kid you have, the more money the government pay for
Mm.
for this. It's kind of funny, funny thing,
Mm.
because like we have here some religious sect.
Mm.
So they always have a lot of kids.
Mm.
And I asked the question once, why do they have so much kids? Is it not expensive? And someone laughed and said to me, it can be expensive when the government is paying for each of those kids. Yes.
They should
Yes.
set up that law in Africa and they'll see. Africa
Uh,
should
they,
give birth.
they will run away. They will run away. Believe me. So, yeah, but yeah,
Mm.
it's quite interesting thing when it comes to family. It's one of those areas that you get to really enjoy the benefits when you
Mm.
have family, kids,
Then
and so on.
you pay high taxes. How much is the tax? What's the
Okay,
percentage?
it depends on how much you're earning. There is no fixed percentage you pay. It depends on if you just put in mind that the more you earn, the more tax you pay.
Mm.
Right? So it's just like that. You earn more, you pay more.
Okay.
And so before your every year, you will have gone to the tax office and review your tax, and then say to them, okay, this is how much I will earn per year, and then they will calculate you the percentage of how much that is, and that's what you will pay. So let's say, for example, someone earning maybe 60,000 per year, you pay up to 20 something thereabout
Mm.
percent every year, and yeah, that's
The highest. What's the highest tax you've paid? What's the
me.
highest percentage you have paid?
The highest I've paid up to 24.
24,
Yeah,
24%.
yeah, I've paid
But
up to 20.
I think it's even higher in Sweden. We pay like 30%.
Yeah, I don't know. I just,
But we also have some benefits
please,
of
please don't mention that before someone is listening and begin to implement it. Because it's running me mad, really. Don't say it out loud. 34.
oh my
But
god.
yeah, here's the thing. This is one fun thing for me, and it's very interesting for me, is that, believe me, that if you pay more tax, if you pay more than you should, your money will be funded back to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love that thing because sometimes I intentionally inflate how much I will earn.
Mm,
And it's more like a saving, and they usually do tax return every July,
mm,
every I think first of July thereabout, from
mm.
1st to 4th of July, they will be paying out money. They call it tax refund day, and
Wow.
it's like sometimes people take it like holiday.
Mm.
And some people, just like me, intentionally will inflate their yearly income.
Anyway.
Yeah, so that they will pay more tax, and that money will be refunded back to you. It's
Wow.
not the government won't take it, and it's one of those fun things.
It's
Imagine
like they are honest. The system is honest. Like
very,
if you
very,
realize that you pay too much, they'll give it back to you.
very,
The
very, very
same
honest.
money is going to pass through some people. Some people's hand, they won't give it back to you.
No, the here is very super honest.
They're honest.
Super. You can even see from the education system there, like instead of them to just quietly let anybody apply, yeah, but they decide to now put English tests so that they can reduce the number
Yeah.
of people applying. So it's very honest to the core. Yeah.
That's very good. Is there anything that I'm missing? Isaac just joined. Do you have any question or we're going to end?
Hi, Isaac.
He's muted. Okay. But do you have anything else to say that I didn't ask? Well, there are
Um,
more videos coming up because you're going to give us more content from Finland, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
you need to take us through some strategies, ways, some proper programs to apply to help you get a job,
yeah, yeah.
so
And
on.
I think
Those will come in. Isaac
okay.
is okay.
I think Isaac is saying something.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
So I'm fine, thank you. So my question is about PhD studies because I'm commencing my master's next month. So possibly my May June I'll be through. So I'm looking at applying for a PhD program in finance. So the
Mm-hmm.
first one I ask you that what is the proof? What will be the amount of proof of funds I should have? Then for the PhD program, apart from my bachelor's transcript and master's transcript, concerning the IELTS, what is the minimum score I should have also?
Mm.
Thank you.
Okay. You want to go first?
Yeah. I think that for my friends who had the PhD there, I don't remember them talking about the English core because I think they already had it also. So I don't know. But normally this information is you get it when you get a position to apply to. Every university have their own requirements. Some of them they don't even ask for the IELTS. Others they do. But it's a paid program. So they don't ask you for a proof of funds. Do you get me? So it's good to it's good and but I don't know. I think you can search for the positions in the universities portal themselves. That's where you find the positions and then the requirements. Yeah, Imo, go.
Yeah. You rightly said it's like I think what we've said so far did not touch on PhD because
Mm,
that is completely a different kind of question, and I probably out of my own ignorance I did not consider this forum, for
mm,
PhD people as well. But yeah, like you have mentioned, either like PhD here in Finland is considered like a work.
mm,
It's not. It's an education. It's an academic position, and
mm,
it's being considered like a job that you're doing. So getting a PhD, it's each individual school that does the advertisement and the department separately. Okay. And this application, this thing we're talking about here, this study info, you do not apply PhD there. It
no,
is directly to the program that gives because how they get the PhD, this thing, you need to have funding. You
mm,
need to have funding for the PhD in order for them to even begin to advertise.
mm,
And this is not in the hands of this study info to do
yeah,
that. So individual program do bring out a different position ready, for this thing. And in terms of how much you need, I know that for the immigration, this thing, one, if you're coming to do PhD, all right, they have an admission this in that you need to put that you need to do the PhD and attach your offer which they've given to you, and that should be enough because it will be like coming to with a work permit.
yeah,
Okay, that's the kind of permit they give to. It's quite different from what they give to masters and bachelor's degree people, because
yeah,
those ones are coming to study,
yeah.
but you're coming to a system where you have a job and a payment that is going to be given to you, and that can be counted as your cost of living or earning, a year. And you don't necessarily need to have a certain amount of money in your account in that regard. So it's quite different. It's when it comes to PhD. And there are so many things out there for PhD that we haven't touched on this.
We can talk about it another. We have another content now. Talk about PhD.
Yeah.
And maybe you bring Isaac. Isaac, you come and you will be the one who will be asking the questions the day we do the PhD one.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
You'll be able to do that.
Okay.
Are you answered? Are you clear with your question, or do you have more questions?
No, I'm clear. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. This was streamed live, so you can always go back to it on the YouTube, and I may go back inside there and check if I can put some more info there. We have to put in the description box all the links that we shared here. So thank you very much. We started 1 hour 30 minutes ago, so we've covered a lot. So Isaac, you have to go back to the video to check what we talked about previously, if you intend to come to Finland, or if you intend to study in Finland.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Imo.
All right. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Ida.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to go and study in Finland, you can contact us, and then we'll give you all the support you need. All right. Bye.
All right.